Hi, I'm Dr. Dustin Gay. I'm a local orthopedic surgeon with Houston Clinic Orthopedics, and we'd really like to invite everybody to come out to our new office facility to take a look at it. It's a larger space with physical therapy, and we're just excited to have it, and we'd love for people to come out and visit us.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Count on the #1 realty company in Dublin and Lawrence County when you're looking to buy or sell a home or land. All our agents, including Brian Howell, Charlene Lamp, Adam White, David Deeves, Jennifer Brantley, Jay Brantley, Jim Jarrett, Raina Dubberly, Yvonne Robertson, and broker George Durden are ready to serve you today. For all commercial, residential, and rental property, call 478-272-1535. Stop by 1700 Veterans Boulevard or log on to c21dublin.com. And you'll be dealing with the #1 realty company in Dublin and Lawrence County, C21.
Welcome everybody. My name is Doug Jenkins. I'm with Georgia Power Company, and man, I see a lot of great folks around, past, present, maybe some future, from Georgia Power in here. Some of you have aged well. Some of you have not. We'll have a vote on that in a little bit. All right, a couple of real quick things. This is one of the top questions that have been asked as folks have walked in. Where's the hard hat to be signed? That's a Georgia Power tradition. Back right. Please sign that before you leave. I think there's 2 hard hats back there. Ran out of space on the first one. Others said, hey, I would love to participate in the gift for Jay. We have a gift box over here aimed at a little travel for Jay and family. So please feel free to contribute to that. There's also a map on the wall, and would love for you to circle any recommendations on travel that you have for Jay. So feel free to do that throughout today. Also, it's a Georgia Power event, so what can we have to do before we start anything? Gotta have a safety briefing, all right, even at a retirement thing while you're cramming your face with all that great food back there. But a quick safety briefing will be really brief. If we have an incident in here today where we need to call 911, I will call 911. If something happens to me, Tony Ferguson, him back there, will you call? Appreciate that, and get them here. If we have a fire or anything, first there is a fire extinguisher back in the kitchen. We are not going to try to fight the fire, however. We will exit these doors and meet in the parking lot back behind this building. Okay? With that, I'm going to stop right there from a safety briefing, but Jay, I know that might be your last one. So that's got to be pretty special for you. But let me start this off by saying that this is pretty humbling for me. I have known Jay pretty much my entire career at Georgia Power, which suddenly has become 35 years. I don't know how that happened. But when I started with the company and moved over into the sales organization, they used to send us out to us newbies to train with some of the absolute best and brightest. And so I got to go spend time with Jay. And I think you were in Tucker, in Jonesboro at the time, and then down in Statesboro, and really got to just soak up what he taught me around his love of coaching people, his love of doing strategic planning, and that really secret sense of humor that he has that I just really love to enjoy throughout there. And a lot of you got to see that throughout his career. So to come full circle now, 30-something years later, and have a chance to work with Jay now and see him in the area manager role, which he loves, and he's just a tremendous example of what Georgia Power is all about, being a citizen wherever we serve and representing this company in our communities. It's pretty special, Jay. So listen, when he asked me to do this, I just want to say, man, it's humbling, and it's a gift. Also, keep in the back of your mind, if I mess up, not only did you pick me, you trained me. All right, so I just want you to remember that. All right. So listen, since I've totally violated the agenda already, I'm just going to keep violating, if that's okay. So let me tell you one other thing about Jay. He's called me pretty much every day for the past couple of weeks getting ready for this event. Does that surprise anybody? All right. So I was like, Jay, you know, what's going on here? But do you know what he wanted to talk about every time? He was choked up and humbled because of you. I mean, this was just amazing to him that this number of people, handpicked every one of the folks here that had something special in his life, would come and spend this time to celebrate his time with Georgia Power. And it broke him up. I mean, it really did. So again, thank every single one of you for being here today, because it means a lot to this man and to this family and to the legacy of he leads. And what a legacy, Jay. I mean, yes, you'll be remembered for a lot of business results that were achieved at this company, but your legacy is standing right here and all the people that you touched, and a lot of other people that could not be here today that you touched. And I tell you what, that's a legacy that every one of us would dream to have when they get to the end of our career. So congratulations, sir, on that. So, back to the agenda here. Before Jay yanks me off the stage barely before I could, get started. We're going to have a chance, so you be thinking about this, for everybody in this room that would like to do a story about Jay or a memory about Jay, and we're going to try to tag it to this map over here that I'll explain later. But be thinking about that, all right? Be thinking about any of those stories you have. But I will ask you, when we get to that time in the agenda, come up here, because I hope y'all notice this camera staring at me, all right? So we are videotaping this for his memory, and maybe some local TV use here. So I do say that because be careful what you say out here on the I'm kidding. But Jay also, there was a couple of folks that he wanted to make sure that he wanted to come up here and spend time talking with you. So we're going to immediately turn the agenda over to them, and I'm going to call them up one at a time. So the first one is Jay's First Baptist pastor, Dr. Darrell Paulk, who Jay thought it was very important to have him come up and lead us in a prayer of thanks and blessing. So thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Before I pray, just a few quick things. I have to admit, I haven't been to just a great number of retirement parties, but I never imagined I would feel as safe as I do at this party. I'm just overwhelmed with that feeling. And it's a privilege to be here. Just a few quick personal words. I just want to talk about Jay for just a second. Jay knows this. I love him. I love Mitzi. I love James. I love the whole family. And they have been a blessing to me in so many different ways, a blessing to our church, just as I know he's been a blessing to you. What I love about Jay is that he puts his heart into everything that he does. And he loves what he does. And when he does the things that he does, whether he's advising me on things and talking to me about things that, of course, he's thought through in much more detail than maybe even I have, he's done it with a care, because he loves the Lord. In fact, you mentioned legacy. And certainly I know that Jay has a work legacy, but he has a spiritual legacy too. Those in our fellowship, we know him so well. We love him so well. And I'm sure you're aware that he is a man of great faith. He loves the Lord. He loves people. And he wants people to know how much the Lord loves them. And so I celebrate with you today, even though I'm not a Georgia Power employee. I certainly have been blessed by you all through Jay, and I want to thank you, Jay, for letting me be here, and just want to tell you how much I love you again. Let's pray. Lord God, we love you and thank you that you are so good to us. Father, we know that you're good, and that you're gracious to us. Lord, you proved that once and for all through your Son on the cross and through his resurrection so that we can have a relationship with you. Father, I want to thank you for Jay. I want to thank you for the people who have gathered here to celebrate Jay and celebrate with him this milestone. Lord, we pray that you would bless our time together. We thank you for Jay and all that he's done, and we just ask that you continue to bless him and his family from this day forward. And we just love you. We give this over to you, and we pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
The holidays are over and we're open for business here at Dublin Nissan. Whether it's the Armada or the Rogue, we want you to come experience the thrill of the drive. With our inventory selection growing every day, we're looking for our best year ever in 2023.
Only Dublin Nissan has this winning lineup. From the Frontier to the Rogue to the Sentra. Pick your color, pick your options.
Henrietta sells cars well.
David sells cars well.
And remember, go Dogs.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffett Insurance in Dublin if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
All right, next up, I don't think this guy needs a whole lot of introduction to folks, and I swear I wish I had a picture of Thomas Wicker, who's coming up next, because I don't think he's changed since he's left. So looks the exact same. But Thomas was a former VP, and Jay got a chance to work with him several times. And Thomas, Jay's told me so many times what you've meant to him in his career, and he definitely wanted to have you say a few words on him. So please come on up.
After you said that, Doug, I begin to wonder if I might need to question Jay's judgment about who he chooses in this. It'll become very obvious in just a few seconds that the three of us did not coordinate our comments for today's occasion. But that's okay, because I believe Jay needs to hear multiple times what we all think about him. And I would challenge you today to make sure you take the time to tell him what he means to you. You know, too many times in life we wait, for whatever reason, to tell the ones who mean the most to us what they really mean to us. This is not one of those days, okay? So everyone here, I know you have something special to share with Jay, so I challenge you to be sure and do that before you leave today. You know, we're not promised another day, so take this one and take advantage of that. With that, let me say thank you, Doug, and thank you, Dr. Paulk. I am honored to be here today to celebrate with Jay, his family, and all his friends and co-workers as he retires from a successful career of 42 years with Georgia Power. Yes, you heard it right, 42 years. Outstanding, amazing. Jay, thank you for asking me to make comments today. Kay and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. You know we love you and Mitzi and your family. I want you to take a look around. I want you to just take it all in, because unlike many of the meetings that you and I attended as we were both working at Georgia Power, these people aren't here just for the free food. They're here to honor you. They're here to honor you. So take it all in. Mitzi, a big thank you to you for your support of Jay during his career. He couldn't have done it without you. And thank you so much for that. And Jay, I know you're proud to have your mom here today. Ms. Studstill, I just want you to know you're the one that got all this started. And we are so thankful. You've loved Jay, you've cared for him, you've guided him, maybe even disciplined him from time to time, and you shared your wisdom with him. And I know from conversations with Jay how much he loves his mother. And so thank you for what you've done in Jay's life. And to everyone here, thank you. Your presence is meaningful as has already been said, and it's a testament to the positive influence that Jay has had in your life and continues to have in our lives. First, I believe it's important that you know a little bit of background about why Jay may have asked me to be here today. Our relationship with Jay's family started a number of years ago. We both started at Georgia Power on the same day, January 5th, 1981. We did not know each other until a few years later. We became first acquainted in 1986. He was in Valdosta and I was in Tifton. And then we became neighbors. About 4 years later, when my family moved to Lawrenceville, we joined a church there almost immediately, and guess who was there? Jay and Mitzi and their family. As a matter of fact, Jay was our Bible study teacher. So you can either take the blame or the credit for what's happened to me. But this is when I learned that Jay Studstill's faith and family are most important to him. Little did we know over time what a long-standing relationship we would have and develop. 15 years later, in 2005, we ended up in Central Region working for Georgia Power. And we worked together there until I retired in 2015, and I've been trying to get him to retire ever since then. And he's finally made it, and I'm glad, Jay. I am glad. When you asked me to make comments today, I, of course, was humbled. I was excited. But then soon after, when I stopped to think about who I was going to make comments about, I thought, how will I ever find the words to appropriately honor this very special friend? Do such words even exist? How can I sufficiently summarize almost 4 decades of experiences with someone in just a few minutes? Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, loving favor better than silver and gold. Jay, for me, this Bible verse sums up what I have observed in you for all of the years that I've known you. You have certainly established a good name and secured loving favor by living your life based on your priorities: faith, family, and fortune, in that order. I believe the following words and phrases people use to describe you are evidence of these priorities in your life: faith, Christ follower, genuine, servant spirit, cares about others, encourager; family, commitment, consistency, compassion, dedication, loyalty; and fortune, or work, strong work ethic, can-do attitude, bridge builder, humble and down to earth, mentor, team player, frugal, and a good steward. It's been a true blessing to work with you, Jay. You are a man of character, and you are a faithful friend. I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for me through these years. Please know that you are leaving a legacy, as has been stated earlier, of which anyone would be proud. You've had a positive impact in our lives and so many people, both inside Georgia Power and within the communities where you served. They are better because of you. You will be remembered as the standard for how to represent Georgia Power in the community. Your leadership in Georgia Power and the community will be greatly missed. I believe our world would be a much better place if there were more people like Jay Studstill, like you. Now, as you retire, remember that you are leaving behind a legacy. A legacy of character, leadership, encouragement, work ethic, and performance that will forever be a part of your coworkers and those who you have served. You have made your indelible mark. Just as you have given your very best to others for so many years, you deserve only the very best in your retirement. I am hopeful that what I've just shared gives you an understanding of the gratitude myself and so many others, and many who could not be here today, have for the positive influence you have had in their lives, in our lives. We are all blessed to know you. Now, some retirement perspective from a friend. That would be me. You and Mitzi will certainly find retirement to be different from what you are accustomed. But it will be a good kind of different. To Mitzi, Again, thank you for supporting Jay throughout his career. He will need your continued support in retirement. As a matter of fact, at first, he will seem a little bit lost. Please be patient. If both of you fully and positively embrace this new season of life, he will get past this. Together, you'll find what brings you the most joy in this season. I pray only for the very best for you and Jay. Now to Jay, as you enter the next season of your life called retirement, please know that you've earned the right to have fun and to take the time to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. I know sometimes that's hard for you to do. Here's what I encourage you to do. Thank God for the blessings of the past and look forward to those that will come in the future. Treasure and enjoy each moment of each day. Do some things just for you, even some new things. Travel with Mitzi and continue making memories together. Play with the grandkids. Trust me, time flies. And those grandkids will grow up much faster than your boys did. Sleep. Right through the stormy nights. When they come during the middle of the night, and enjoy knowing that you are no longer responsible for getting the power back on. Stay in touch with friends and make new ones. In retirement, you will discover who your true friends really are. Keep encouraging others and serving from the heart. And know, too, that whenever you want, you can choose to do absolutely nothing. That is, if it's okay with Mitzi. I have so much more I could share, just so much more. Please forgive me for running long. I know I committed to time and I've run past that, but I will close. Thank you for 42 years of safe, dedicated service to Georgia Power, and most importantly to me, your friendship. I remain proud of you and proud for you, my friend. Please know that our very best wishes, I'm closing, our prayers and our thoughts go with you. And Mitzi, we wish you only success and happiness in your future. We look forward to seeing what God has in store for you during retirement. May it be all that you hope for. Congratulations to you and Mitzi on your retirement, and welcome to the Retiree Club.
Call Mr. Appliance for a speedy expert service. Or your appliance is not performing correctly, call 309-5960. Mr. Appliance of Dublin is your go-to company for dependable quality appliance service. Our experts are committed to delivering exceptional results in a timely manner, whether you need repairs, replacement parts, or general maintenance. Technicians are available on your schedule and always provide courteous, respectful, and quality work every time. Our technicians always explain and ensure understanding so you'll never encounter surprise fees. Trust Mr. Appliance for residential and commercial repair, service, and maintenance. Call 309-5960. That's 309-5960. 309-5960. Serving Dublin and the surrounding area. Mr. Appliance and Speedy Expert Service, a locally owned and operated franchise. Throughout the years, the Stanley family has served our community in times of need. The Stanley family has always been committed to providing personalized, professional, and compassionate services to help lighten the burdensome times in our lives. We've always been able to count on the Stanley family for support throughout the difficult times that follow the loss of a loved one. Through planning and/or pre-planning considerations, arrangements are always as unique as our individual loved ones. Stanley Funeral Home and Crematory, 1320 North Jefferson, Dublin, or log on to stanleyfuneralhome.com. And remember, you can always count on the Stanley family.
Next up would love to invite Phil Best up, the former mayor of Dublin. And you know, it's an honor when you have a community leader that says, you know, I would really like to spend some time talking about Jay. It says a lot about what he meant to this community, and again to the legacy that Georgia Power tries to leave in all the communities around the state. So thank you, sir.
Actually, Jay is paying me to be here today. Mitzi told me right when I walked in, Phil, hold your speech to 30 minutes. So I've cut it back, but if y'all want to find a seat, sit on the floor if you'd like to. I'll be through in just a few minutes. When I was a child, I was raised in McRae, Georgia, and there was a man there named H.B. Coker. And H.B. was lineman foreman for Georgia Power. But we went to the Presbyterian church, and H.B. would always be outside, Mr. Coker to us, but he would be outside when we'd get out of Sunday school going to church, and he'd have juicy fruit chewing gum, and he'd give all the kids a piece of it, saying, "Don't tell your mama I gave you that." But the mamas already knew. But H.B. was a citizen where he served, not only at the Presbyterian church, but he was in the community. Jay Studstill is a citizen where he serves. In 30 years of public service, you get to meet a lot of folks, and a lot of special folks, special in a lot of different ways. But but Jay was one of those that I met that became a friend. We've been friends, we are friends, and we will be friends. He made such a difference in Dublin, Georgia, from the Downtown Development Authority when he first got here, the farmers market, the Fred Roberts Hotel, where my wife and I have lived now for 9 years. I can't tell you the number of times when there were storms that he stayed in almost constant contact with me to let me know where I could let our folks know what was going on. There's just not enough time really to say all the good things about Jay that I'd like to, but I just want to end by saying I love you, and I appreciate what you've done for this community, and I appreciate our friendship. Thank you.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Next thing we'd like to do is we were trying to think of a creative way just to kind of talk about Jay's career at Georgia Power without reading you a bio, all right? I know there's a couple of y'all in here that are disappointed in that, but really just wanted to kind of give a snapshot of Jay, kind of using this map over here, all right? So let me tell you, and then what I'd love is I'm gonna turn the mic over to you. Ask you to come up here. If anybody's got a story, but let's try to link it to some of these timelines on the map. One thing that's not on the timeline is Jay's hometown, Eastman, all right? I think that's the Dodge County, right? Is there anybody here from Jay's hometown? There you go. So I think back when Jay grew up there was about, probably 3,500 people in that city? So there's a large percentage of the population here today from Eastman. So appreciate you guys coming. Jay grew up there and then moved to Tifton, where he went to ABAC and got his ASAE degree. I don't even know what that is. I think it is as soon as I earn this degree, I'm out of here degree, but he can tell you about that later. But I think Tim Carter was one of his classmates there, and I saw Tim. So maybe some little college stories, maybe. We'll see. We'll hear how that goes. Then he went to Athens, where he was at UGA, getting his Bachelor of Arts degree. Jay has shared with me privately that was the 2 saddest years of his life. He wished he had gone to Georgia Tech, but did not. Sorry. You can edit that out later. he began co-oping with Georgia Power when he was in Athens, and I think he met a gentleman there by the name of Truett Evanson, right? So I'm not sure if Truett was able to join us today, but I know that's where he met Truett. Then he was off to Valdosta, where he was a co-op student with Georgia Power down in Valdosta, and then started full-time down there as a residential commercial energy services rep. Something else happened when he was in Valdosta. That's when he got a chance to marry the love of his life, Mitzi. And shortly thereafter, I think your first son was born, right? Shortly there, Bobby Murphy can tell a story about that maybe later. But they created a family quickly and got rolling on the Studstill name down there. But met Mitzi. He somehow convinced her to move to Atlanta. I don't know. I still don't know how he did that. Said it was a great idea. He moved up to Tucker as the power marketing engineer, and that's when I had a chance to meet Jay for the very first time. Then he moved to Jonesboro as a power marketing engineer. And after being in Atlanta for 2 years, and I think that aged you 40 years, right, with all the traffic and everything, I think about that point, Mitzi said, we're done with Atlanta. We're out of here. That is so not true. All right. So actually, the company saw Jay's talent of what, his people coaching, his leadership skills, his love of strategic planning, and they promoted him to a sales manager. So I will get that on the record, especially since we're taping here. And they moved him down to Statesboro, where he was the sales manager, and then moved on to the customer choice team and negotiated some of the large jobs that we have down in that part of the state today. And then he moved over to Dublin in 2005 for just a couple of years. He was going to be in that role and then move on, right? It's now 2023. What happened? He met you. He met the folks in this community. And he fell in love with this community. Dove in, feet first, him and his family, and decided, hey, this is home for me. I don't want to go anywhere else. And I want to represent Georgia Power right here. And he has been an example to every area manager in this state since then for doing that.
Hey, I got bad reception, but the boys did such a great job letting our friends know about the chip shortage and ordering their vehicles. Now I just need the vehicles to come in. I don't want to end up with pie in my face.
I want pie in my face.
Lost them.
Wow, look at all the new vehicles.
Ordering works after all.
You got pie now.
Others call you customers.
We call you friends.
That's Dublin Ford Lincoln.
At Central Georgia Primary Care, we are dedicated to improving your health and quality of life throughout Lawrence County with state-of-the-art facilities. We are your one-stop shop for all things health care, and there's a location near you no matter where you live. Central Georgia Primary Care is located at 406 Central Drive in East Dublin and just off Hillcrest, at 101 Mercer Drive, and in Dublin at 230 Industrial Boulevard, north, south, east, or west. There's a Central Georgia Primary Care centrally located near you.
So to break the ice, while you're thinking of your story, I'll go ahead and tell you one. All right, this is from a recent one. How many in here y'all know that when you ask Jay, just give me the high level bullets or something like that, you ain't gonna get that. All right, you're gonna get an email and you're gonna scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. So for this event, I said, Jay, listen, I got this, but can you just send me 2 or 3 bullet points that you would like for me to just make sure I get out to the group? Not that I'm going to use them, but could you send them to me? And he said, sure, Doug, I'll put it together for you. This is what he said. Jay Studstill Retirement Plan 2023. So I have it color-coded. So I have been studying this for days upon days and days, and I still don't know the 3 points. So, absolutely. Great stuff. And I'm going to keep studying, and I'm going to find them. But Jay, thank you for teaching me how important it is to be thorough on stuff. So and just again appreciate your friendship on that. Absolutely. All right, who's next? Anybody else want to share a story? And just again for video, come on up here. Yes, sir.
You're talking about impromptu. This is really impromptu. But Jay and I have known each other a long time. As a matter of fact, I was in Valdosta when Jay was hired. And I remember when he and Mitzi got married. I remember when the first child came along. Where's he at? All right, I remember that day. And I remember the day you and Mitzi got married and went on the honeymoon and came back, and shortly thereafter, you arrived. But it's been a pleasure. As I said, Jay and I worked together in Valdosta, and lo and behold, I moved to Vidalia, and a few years later, Jay became my boss. That's how quickly he rose in the echelon of Georgia Power. But it's been a pleasure, Jay, and enjoy retirement. And if you ever run out of something to do, I got a couple of places we can go fishing, and we can bring Mitzi and the grandkids with you.
Hi, I'm Russell Mullinex. Jay and I first met when he and Mitzi, he got hired onto the company. We lived in the same apartment complex, and Mitzi immediately became pregnant with Jason. Immediately. And she and my wife would chat with each other, but she had morning sickness and afternoon sickness and evening sickness. And so every night we would either play rook together or we'd sit by the pool together. Every night of the summer, that first summer. And that's when I learned of this man's deep faith. And I respected him a great deal. And Mitzi, congratulations, and I hope y'all have a great retirement.
Staff did a good time, and James in charge of the dress code,
So I was not going to say anything, but Thomas said something about recognizing people when you can. So I want to thank you, Jay. Thank you. I had a chance to work for Jay early 2000s. It was a challenging job. It was a challenging time for my family and I to move from Metro Atlanta to Dublin. But Jay is a leader who leads with his heart. And so while I may have not understood everything all the time, I never questioned your heart. Because of Jay Studstill, I learned about what it means to be a Rotarian. Never would have gotten that opportunity on the path that I was on. I learned about serving in the community. I learned how to play golf. These are important skills. But he was never afraid to include me. And I want to thank you for that. It totally changed my life and my family's life. We can all think about those times, those catalysts in our lives, our careers that really changed the trajectory of things. Working for Jay Studstill in Dublin, Georgia, did that for me and my family. And I want to tell you I appreciate you, and I love you and Mitzi.
Well, Jay, you never taught me to play golf, so I'm guessing Lisa's skills maybe started a little higher than mine when it comes to golf, so you still have work to do. But no, I just want to say thank you, Jay, for giving me a chance as my first local manager role. It only took 11 opportunities before either he ran out of reasons why they couldn't give me the job, or he saw something in me that no other body saw. But Jay, you've truly been a mentor, and we've talked a lot, and I think that's not going to change as we go into your next chapter. I think a lot of us will still be a part of that. But thank you for what you have done for me in my career. giving me that opportunity when 10 others did not. So don't be a stranger. And again, as everyone else has said, look around this room. It's pretty amazing. This was going to be a small group. You were all a small, select group. But I could only imagine if he invited everybody that you've ever touched, it would be unbelievable. But congratulations. Best luck to you. Mitzi, you as well. Make sure y'all travel a lot.
It won't be long. It won't be long, I promise you. John Asbell, Georgia Power Company. I want to say this. I'm not good at humor. I wish I was, but I'm not. Although a lot of people, well, anyway. 1991, come into the company. And as a young man and young servant and leader in the company, you're searching. You're searching for how you should carry yourself, how you should speak. How do I take who I am and adapt in a way that's meaningful to other people, right? So that I can be successful and they can too. I think all of our lives can be portrayed in a picture. And I think all of us share some common, bold strokes, and maybe some uncommon. Whether it be the love of our parents, the loss of a child, circumstances, both good and bad, are the big, bold strokes in our picture. And along the way, life happens, and we get the finer strokes, right? And that picture becomes more complete. If we're lucky, and we've seen these pictures, those small, those tiny multitude of strokes of people coming alongside you, holding your hand, praying with you, helping you, admonishing you, holding you accountable. And that picture takes on a whole nother dimension. The lights come out and the shadows are exposed, and life gets so much richer. And at the end of this thing we called life, the picture that we've been allowed and we've been given, if we're lucky, we've had people to come along and paint those small strokes because they were there. They were consistent. Their prayers, if not their presence. When I came into the company in 1991, what I want to tell you again, because we've had this conversation and I'm thankful we have, I was looking for people around me to say, what should I consider? What kind of person can I be? And what examples are out there? And I saw what it meant to care about people while you're achieving outcomes, goals. And every time I had a conversation with Jay, oh my gosh, he was the kind of person that cared about people. Whatever he was going to do, that was going to be done, bar nothing. And it made such an impression on me, and I fall far short. But I've got some people in my life that have given me those examples and have made my picture so much richer than otherwise it would be. You have told me, and I have told you, I love you. Thank you. All right?
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Looking for a career that's always in demand? How about one that provides you with practical and useful skills? A career that allows you to earn hands-on experience and an education with little to no debt? Oconee Fall Line Technical College prepares students with the right set of skills to succeed in fast-growing careers in healthcare, manufacturing, business, and technology fields. If you're ready to gain the experience you need to start your career locally, OFTC is where it all begins. Oconee Fall Line Technical College. Careers begin here.
42 years ago, can't believe that. 1981, I was a staff engineer in Atlanta. They said, we've got this young engineering candidate for hiring coming to the interview today. The industrial manager said, I ain't got time to talk to him. The commercial manager, I don't have time to talk to him. Residential manager, I don't have time to talk to him. Let Grubb talk to him. And I was a peon. And I got through interviewing this guy. They said, y'all making a serious mistake if you don't hire this man. And he got hired. And I've always been very proud of that. Jay, you're an amazing guy, and we appreciate what you've done, man. And my reputation was on the line. I've checked on your status every year for 42 years.
Well, y'all may be here to celebrate his retirement from Georgia Power, but I want you to know that just last week, Jay accepted reappointment to the Land Bank. So from the City of Dublin's perspective, we aren't expecting him to go anywhere. Jay, we hope that you've been a friend to the City of Dublin. I know that when I was first elected, one of the first things I got was a text message from you late at night telling me how many customers were out of power and what Georgia Power was doing to respond to that. You have been Johnny on the spot with communications, but even beyond your role at Georgia Power, the way you've served the community, we know each other from Downtown Development Authority, from the Land Bank, and I feel like you've been a mentor to me. I've learned so much from following your professionalism and the example that you set in your civic life. And I just want to tell you personally how much I appreciate that, but also that I hope that you continue to do that for a long time, because you still have a lot to offer the city, and I sure appreciate it. Thank you.
I too was struck by what Thomas said about recognizing people, because you never know when you're going to have a chance to do that. And I wanted to take this chance. I only had the opportunity to work directly with Jay for about 2 years. And I can tell you from a professional standpoint and a personal standpoint, those were some of the finest 2 years of my career, my personal career. I always knew, and I will continue to know, that Dublin is in good hands. And you've heard a lot of people in this room talk about legacy and talk about example. Doug said you've been an example to area managers around the company. You've been an example to everybody around the company. And I so value my time with you. And just know that you will now be part of the retiree DAT team. So we will know that Dublin will continue to be in good hands.
Jay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tony Hanna, and I was Jay's last manager. I guess am his last manager, and so I felt like I needed to come up because I wanted to make sure that Jay wasn't retiring because of me. And we had that conversation. I've had the privilege of working with, that's what you said, Jay. But we've had the pleasure of working together for the last year or so. And when I came in, Jay said, I'm thinking about retiring. I'm going soon. Don't know when it'll be, but I'll let you know. And so we've had conversations over the last year, and it was really beautiful and touching. He said, one of the reasons I stayed as long as I did was because of you and getting to work with you. And so I appreciate that so much. I've known Jay for a long time. I think I met you when I was in HR, when I was managing leadership programs, and obviously Jay is an amazing leader, and he came through the programs. And then I had the privilege to work with him this last year and have gotten to know him so much better, not just as an employee, but as a person, a kind-hearted leader who cares so much about people, who cares so much about his community. And it's just been a privilege and a pleasure to get to work with you, know more of your heart, who you are as a human being, your faith, how important family is. Mitzi talks about you all the time. I would call him after hours, and he'd be like, I'm on the field with my grandkids. But always made time for me. And so it has been a tremendous privilege to work with you, to call you friend. I can tell with your servant heart, I've heard that many times today, that although you're retiring from the company, you will still be engaged with the company and with the community. I hope that you guys do take some time to travel. I think you got an upcoming wedding, spending time with grandkids. And so, yes, just want to congratulate you and tell you how much that your friendship to me has been, and I wish you all the best in retirement. You're a special guy.
Jay Studstill. Jay and I had the pleasure of working together during COVID, so you can imagine those were difficult and different times for us. But I am so proud of you for taking this step. You mentioned it when we were together, and I think it's just going to be a great next chapter for you. Personally, what I appreciate, I am from the Dublin, Georgia area, so to see someone have this much passion about the community I grew up in is awesome. I wish you nothing but the best. Enjoy this time. I love you, Jay.
I'm standing back there and I'm thinking, I know there's a lot of feet that are hurting, and some of them are standing in high-heeled shoes, and I know they're really hurting. And so I'm wavering whether I should come up here and speak or not, but I hear what everybody's saying, and I realize that I can't let this time pass without at least saying a little something. I'm not good at what year something happened or how many years ago something happened, but I know that a few years ago we reorganized, and I know that in a meeting I was sitting there and I didn't see a dot for Vienna, where I lived and worked at the time, so I'm thinking, I don't have a job right now, but hopefully I'm going to get to keep a job. And so Jason Cuevas called me and he said, Mike, you got between now and Monday to let us know whether you still want to work here or not, and you can retire or whatever. And I said, technically I can let you know now. And he said, okay, what is your decision? And I said, well, I'd like to still work here for a few more years. So at that point, he said, okay, I got you down. And at that point, I went to work for a man I had never even heard of before, and that was Jay Studstill. And after the announcements were made, a few days later, he called me and he said, hey, I understand that you're going to be one of my employees, and I didn't know at that point whether I should say thank you or apologize to him. So we made a great team. We enjoyed each other a lot. We talked about a lot of stuff, work related and unwork related. Jay has had a lot of accolades today about what he's done for folks that worked with and for him all these years, and a lot of words that were used to describe him. The one thing I'll say about Jay that meant the most to me was the fact that Jay let you be who you are. Jay didn't try to put you in any kind of mold or anything. Jay worked with the person that you were, and you got to work with the person that Jay was. And that person is an awesome person to work with and for. And Jay is retiring today from Georgia Power Company. He is not retiring from being your friend. So Jay, I appreciate you, brother. You mean a lot to me.
Maybe I'm not the last or the least, but Jay, just on behalf of the county commissioners, just want to let you know what a just fabulous person you've been for our community. For me personally, being a young professional coming to this community some 22 years ago, you came shortly after I got here, but you had a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom that you shared with me and helped me through some tough decisions to make, and I really appreciate that. From the county standpoint, golly, I feel like we took advantage of you so often. We would have committees sometimes, and we just couldn't find anybody to serve, and everybody looking, I was like, well, I know a guy. So, and we would call Jay, and he was always so gracious to serve in our community in so many important positions. We greatly appreciate it. You left your mark on this place, and we hope you're going to continue to be a part of this community. So, and I'm sure you will be. But thank you once again from Lawrence County and our whole community.
2022 was another winning season at Dublin Chevrolet. Now we're gearing up for the new year. Whether it's a Trailblazer or a truck or anything in between, our selection is growing every day.
I love Dublin Chevrolet so much that I came back and bought another car.
Eli sells cars well.
Trey sells cars well at Dublin Chevrolet.
And remember, go Dogs.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space. So hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
All right, last opportunity. If you really want to say it, come on up.
They're saying it before I die.
I know. I think that's what it is. It's pretty special, Jay, the folks that have come up. Now, I do have one other final story if nobody else is going to come up. But anybody that's been in management, you always know when somebody's about to retire. All right, go ahead and shout out. What do they do? What do they do? A couple things. the first thing is they start getting body parts fixed or replaced. So when I started seeing the shoulder and all, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. So that was the first clue that happened. And then what do? They start not caring kind of what they look like when they come into staff meetings and stuff like that. So Lisa had a staff meeting where she had everybody online, and she just asked folks to simple have a background, just a cute background or something like that. Well, not Jay. So this is what we saw online. All right. Full 3-dog night. Guys, this is not doctored. Lisa, this is correct. This is true, right? This is not doctored up. We didn't create this. This is Jay, what he had on that we had to stare at. We knew right then that Jay Studstill was about to retire. And sure enough, it was just days later. Here comes the announcement. So Jay, you were true to all these things we were used to when we knew employees were about to go. All right, now we're to that time where we'd like to recognize Jay and his family. So I'm gonna ask the family if they would come up and just join Jay. Jay's wife Mitzi, Jay's mother Ruth, Jay's sister Jane Sheffield and her husband Donald, his oldest son Jason Studstill and fiance Anna D'Angelo. There's something on here. I think there's a misprint. It says they're going to marry in March in New York City. I think they meant Dublin, Georgia, but it says here New York City. I think that could be a misprint. Youngest son James Studstill and wife Rebecca, and 2 children Daniel and Noah, and I think we have a third on the way, right? Son Dawson on the way, February 7th. And so that might be some of the timing around Jay's plans to retire. So spend as much time with those grandchildren as possible. First off, beautiful family. Secondly, when Jay's retiring from Georgia Power after 42 years, we're losing this entire family right here, because what Jay did for 42 years could not be done alone. It took a lot of support from his entire family for that entire 42 years. And we know that. And everybody here that works for Georgia Power knows that. So thank you all for sharing Jay with us for 42 years. And I know you've been waiting a long time for this one, so I'll come over here. So this means a lot, 42 years. Southern Company presents to Jay Studstill, upon the occasion of your retirement from Georgia Power, does hereby express its appreciation for 42 years, March 2023. Congratulations. Woo! And one of the things that Jay said he wanted to do after he retired is travel. All right, wanted to go out, and so we took up a little travel fund to get them started. And we also have the map over here where we came up with some great recommendations on where he should go. I think a couple of folks circled Antarctica. That's a joke, but there's some other places on there that are really pretty cool. You need to check them out. But it's just something, Jay, small that we wanted to do just to get you guys started on that. So again, Jay, thank you for the friendship. Thank you for the friendship for everybody in this room. Thank you for the legacy. And thank you for the leadership that you've provided to so many folks. And man, I'm going to miss you. Just thank you for the friendship and just what you have meant to me and the example you've set for me for my 35 years with this company, because I'm not going to forget you, bud.
Life is filled with gifts. You know, some gifts are little packages gifts. Some gifts are big package gifts. Some gifts come when you don't even expect them. All of y'all are gifts. I thank y'all. I thank you tremendously. What all of you have given me in my career. I especially thank my family. I love you with all my heart and all my soul. I thank you. I thank you very, very much. Words resonate, and I definitely appreciate all the people that shared today. It meant a lot. After this life, there'll be a long time to sit back and reflect on things. But there's something that I want y'all to know how I really feel today. Sometimes songs can say it best. And I got a song for y'all today. Yes, Gil's gonna play a song. And this is how I feel, and I hope you feel. James, you can't edit that part. Thank you. There's a lot of food. I want pictures. All my friends from ABAC and Statesboro, Dublin, and customer service, between Valdosta, Eastman. I'd love for to get pictures. If y'all could come do that. I love you.
Georgia Military College is a 2-year associate's degree granting institution. We are an open admissions college. What that means is all you need to do is have a high school diploma or a GED to get accepted into GMC. We offer several associate's degree programs, including business administration, pre-nursing, psychology, criminal justice, as well as education. We offer classes during the morning, evening, and at night. We even offer some weekend classes. We offer online classes as well as in-seat classes, whatever is convenient for you and your schedule. We are located at 200 South Jefferson Street in Dublin, Georgia. If you want a great education with small class sizes, affordable tuition, we would love to see you here. Stop by to see us or give us a call. Start here, go anywhere. Georgia Military College, Dublin campus.